Hi guys, nice to meet you if you're new here, nice to see you if you're not new here. I'm Lara, welcome back. It has been a minute. I'm back. I took a little break. If you saw, Mr. Royley, my bestie, my beautiful boy, passed away at the end of May. So I just wanted to take a break. Just wanted that minute where I didn't have to focus on what book I was reading, what video I was filming. But with that being said, I am ready to come back. I am in a book slump though. I am in a book slump. I have read, I think, one book in June and I finished it today. And today is June 26th. I was going around in circles with what I wanted to film that would include me getting out of a book slump. And I think I did decide. We'll see. We'll see. You could tell through the title of the video. Let's get out of a book slump together in 24 hours. 24-hour readathon, but I'm in a book slump. The only catch is this will not be 24 hours straight. It will just be over the course of a couple of days, a week, however long it takes me, because I am in that book slump. Because I'm having a hard time reading, that I don't know how long it's going to take me, but over the course of a 24-hour timer, I want to see if I can get out of my book slump. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I was thinking about reading summer books in this video, getting out of a slump with summery books. I think if I set that I'm reading summer books, it might not help me. I think picking what book I want to read is what's going to help me. I'm not really sure what I'm in the mood for. I'm just kind of looking at my shelves and seeing what maybe is pulling me towards it. Do I want to read a romance? Do I want to read a fantasy? Do I want to read a mystery book? I don't know. So I'm gonna go through my shelves really quickly. I'm gonna look at my books. Maybe we'll do a little TBR for the 24-hour reading vlog, even though I'm not good at sticking to TBRs. Okay, I think I picked 3 books that I'm kind of interested in reading. I don't know if I'll stick to this TBR. The 3 books I have on here are These Hollow Vows. I just know that it's about Fae, and that's all I've got. All I know about this book is there's Fae in it and she doesn't want to make a deal with the Fae, and my best friend really liked this book. And I got this for her a long time ago and she read it. She loved it. Then I have Earl's Trip, Regency era with a delightfully modern feel set against the irresistible backdrop of an annual trip taken by 3 handsome earls. A historical rom-com that spotlights male friendship alongside an appealing romance. And then Bridgerton fans love it. I've never seen Bridgerton, but I just love the cover of this. So this is on the list. And also on the list is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This I've had for quite a while. And sometimes it really intrigues me. I'm like, yeah, I should read that. I should read that. And then I don't. But I think this is actually going to be the first book that I pick up. First off, beautiful. This gives me like lover vibes. This is going to be the first book that I pick up. I'm actually kind of excited about it. Really hoping I like it. I don't really know too much about this book. Just like I don't know too much about these 2 books. But that's what we're doing. Okay? We're getting out of a book slump in a 24-hour time period over the next week because I can't read 24 hours straight. But we can see how many books I read and if I get out of my book slump. So we're also just mood reading. I'm going to pick up whatever I want to pick up. But we're starting to Check and Mate. Good morning. It is Sunday. I think I did my intro to this vlog on Wednesday, and I haven't really read much. You wanna know how much I've read? I'll show ya. I've been reading for an hour and 20 minutes so far, so that's really cool. Still have 22 hours and 40 minutes left. I did start Checkmate. I read a little bit on Wednesday. I probably read for about 15 minutes. Then I read yesterday and today, this morning. I'm currently on page 56. This is about Mallory, who used to absolutely love chess her entire life with chess, but all of a sudden she stops playing. Haven't figured out that reason yet, but she stops playing, and her best friend Easton also chesses her life in a different way, but chess is still like a really big part of her life. After Mallory quit playing, Easton kept playing. There's this charity event going on. Easton begs Mallory to do it, and Mallory is like, fine, I'll do it. And she goes up against Sawyer, and she beats Sawyer in this chess match. Just following that story, what's going on after that. I feel like the synopsis of the book gives away a little bit too much information, so if you want to go into this book not knowing too much, don't read the synopsis. Another thing about this book that I did notice, which is not that big of a deal to me, but it could be a big deal to other people, is that this is labeled a young adult book. And I've heard other people talk about this, but I am going to mention it just in case you don't know. This is labeled a young adult book. I disagree with the labeling. I believe this is a new adult book, from my personal opinions. There's just a couple of things that have been said in the book that are not YA. And I guess it just depends on like personal opinion as well. Like, do you think it's YA because of the age they're sitting at? These are freshly out of high school, going into college kids. They're 18 years old. But I think it's new adult because of the life that she's living and what she's literally jumping into, this new life, being a responsible adult on top of chess. But there's just things that have been said that I don't think are very YA. So just know that going into this. That being said, I am enjoying the book. I am enjoying the writing. There's a lot of chess talk, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. And I just love the cover. So that's kind of just what's going on. I'm an hour and 20 minutes into my 24-hour readathon. And we are already Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days into this. And I've only done an hour. So I'm hoping to get quite a lot of reading done today. Just finished this book. I think it's been about a week since I started this, but I just finished Checkmate, so let's talk about it. I thought I was gonna like Checkmate, but I enjoyed it more than I was thinking. I really like the main characters, both Mallory and Nolan. I don't know how to describe him. He's one of those characters that kind of seem closed off and just so sweet, so down bad. She grew up playing chess and something happens where she just decides she's no longer playing chess anymore. I'm done. Chess is done. I don't like it anymore. Her best friend is going to an event. It's going to a charity event and she needs somebody else to play with. So she asked Mallory to do it. Eventually Mallory says yes. They play chess and she goes up against Nolan, who is the #1 chess player in the world. She ends up beating Nolan, which crazy because she hasn't played chess in so long, and he's the #1 chess player in the year. Nobody beats him. There's only a handful of people that have beaten him. Nobody beats him. Very shocking. She's thrown back into the chess world. It is not for the enjoyment of chess. She's not playing because she loves chess. She told herself she wouldn't think about chess. I'm gonna give it a 4 stars. There were a couple things that I didn't absolutely love. I will say I did actually really enjoy the chess aspect to this. Obviously, it's about chess, centered around chess. It took me almost 8 hours to read. I have about 16 hours and 17 minutes left, so we're gonna pick my next read. Actually, I have no clue what I want to read. I have these books that we talked about at the beginning, but I don't know what I'm feeling. So I think I'm gonna take a minute, take a break, because I've been reading all morning. It's actually 3. It's a little past 3, and I've been reading just nonstop, I feel like. I read a good chunk of the book today, specifically. 16 hours and 17 minutes left in my timer. It took me a week to read that book. I just finished Life's Too Short, and I feel like it teaches you so many valuable lessons about life, you know? We'll have to talk about it more later because I just finished it. I need a minute. We can pick out our next read. I have about 2 hours left, 2 hours and 10 minutes or so left. Yesterday, I went to Target. I stopped by Target and they were having a 2-for-1 sell, and I haven't bought books for myself in a while. I got books on my birthday, but I haven't bought a book for myself in a minute. So, book haul. I got a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I absolutely love The Dead Romantics. I haven't read The 7-Year Slip yet, but I love The Dead Romantics. I think it has something to do with books, like maybe she goes into a book, she jumps into a book, I don't know, but we know that she writes like magical romances, so I'm excited for this book. I also got Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan because I've heard so many good things about this book. It's like an amazing summer romance. It pulls at your heartstrings, but you love it. I've heard so many good things about this book, and this is actually what I was planning to get, but then they were having a sale. So lastly, look at this cover. It is The Love of My Afterlife by Chrissy Greenwood. I don't know what it's about, other than a recently deceased woman meets the one in the afterlife waiting room, scoring a second chance at life and love if she can find him on Earth before her 10 days are up. And that just sounds so fun. And it also gives like Dead Romantics vibes, you know what I mean? Excited for this one, but I think we're gonna go with Summer Romance because I've just heard so many good things and I'm super excited. So I think we're gonna go with this. I'm gonna go to the gym though and then start this book. So exciting. was editing the video and realized that I forgot to film the outro and the wrap up because I've been filming this for quite a while. You might be a little confused. If you're not, maybe you didn't notice it. I, of course, noticed it because it was my error. You might have noticed that there was a lot of montages in this, and I kind of just like jumped from book to book. It's because I don't know how to check my card before I format it, and I'll format my card and I'll lose footage. I thought I had all my footage saved. I did not. So I lost quite a bit of footage. That's okay though. That's okay. No big deal. I'll just tell you what happened. We're gonna do a little wrap up all the books that I read in this 24-hour period, which really lasted about 2.5 weeks. This took me so long to film, and I was just trying to get out of my book slump. So for starters, the first book that I read was Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Check and Mate is about Mallory and Nolan. Mallory grew up loving chess. She breathed chess, she loved chess. Her life was chess. Something happens and one day she decides no more chess. I'm not playing chess anymore. I'm not going to think about it. I'm moving on. Her best friend Easton also plays chess, but she continued chess after Mallory quit. Easton one day needs her to fill in for somebody for a charity event. I'm not playing chess. You know why I don't play chess. But then she gives in. She gives in. She goes to the charity event, and the person that she plays against is Nolan. Nolan right here is the #1 chess player in the entire world. #1, sits at the top, the best player, except for Mallory beats him. Yeah, Mallory beats him in a chess game. You're kind of just following that story. Mallory is also a high school graduate. She grew up quicker than most people, following the story of balancing certain things in her life and how she's doing. It was a very fun book. I really like the aspect of the chess in it, which I know while I was editing the video, I was like, oh, they talk a lot about chess, which I knew going into it. Book is chess. It's the outline, the plot, their life is chess. So there's a lot of chess talk, but it shouldn't deter you from reading the book, because even there's a lot, you might miss some things here and there. I missed a couple of things, but it's not that big of a deal. I like the book. I like the characters. Nolan is this cute guy who, he's quiet and he's standoffish, really. He doesn't have the greatest reputation. Most guys who don't have a great reputation or is like shown in a different light is also a big softie. And it was just really cute, and I did enjoy it. I like the writing. I like the chess. And I did ultimately give this a 4-star. After that, which was completely missed, it was all of my footage. I'm a little upset because I really liked it, but I read The Summer of Broken Rules by Kaya Walther. It's about Meredith and her entire family. There are so many characters in this book, which was one of my favorite parts. And it was just so fun. It basically is following Meredith and her entire family, where they go to Martha's Vineyard, a lot of land, and there's a beach and ponds and a bunch of houses on the land. Every single year they went out to this place, except for Meredith lost her best friend, her sister, the year before, and she decided not to go one year. She comes back the following year. They're gonna play Assassins, which is basically a game where you get somebody's name and you have a water gun, and you're just, you know, you shoot them with the water gun, you pick up their name, and it's just a really like long Assassins game. I don't think that was explained very well, but Assassins. They decide they're gonna play Assassins, which was Claire, her sister's favorite game. She always won. She decides that she's gonna win the game for her sister, but she makes an alliance with this cute boy that's on the vineyard that year, and she's just getting distracted. This only follows over a course of a week, I believe, and it was just so fun. I loved them playing Assassins. I loved all the characters. Like I said, there's a ton of characters in this, and it's not following different point of views. It's just following Meredith. It's so fun with all the different characters in the game that they're playing. It was just a really cute, like, summery read. I got this book last year. I didn't read it, and I'm so glad I finally picked it up. I believe I gave this a 4.25 star. Super fun. Enjoyed it. Then after that book, I also talked about it, which completely missed, but you do see it in the video. I read Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I just wanted to read something on my Kindle, and that was a book on my Kindle. Also love Abby Jimenez's writing. It's always so easy, so fun, and I just wanted something, like, those books were easy and fun, but I wanted something also more in-depth and more emotional, and Abby Jimenez knows how to pull on your heartstrings. She indeed did pull on my heartstrings a bit. This book is following Vanessa and Adrian. Vanessa has a different outlook on life. Life is too short. Do what you want to do in the moment. Don't think about it. Don't focus. Oh my gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, I read quotes to y'all, so I'll have to read some to you. But be in the moment. Don't focus on what's happening in the future. Live in the moment and have the best time of your life. Except for one day, Vanessa is left with the baby and the mom never comes back to get the baby. Brand new newborn baby. Vanessa's life is put on a hold for this baby. Adrian lives next door to Vanessa. He's his hot lawyer next door, and he shows up and ends up helping Vanessa with the baby. One important thing to know about this book for Vanessa's point of view is the women in her family don't live past 30, and she's in her late 20s, so she's trying to live up her life to the fullest. So one of her rules is not to fall in love, and then Adrian pops up. It was such a cute book. I have to read you some quotes. I have to. If you spend your life dwelling on the worst possible thing, when it finally happens, you've lived it twice. Which just makes so much sense, because if you are focusing on something that's going to happen in the future and that's all you're thinking about, when you finally get into that moment, you've already lived that moment because it's all you've thought about, and now you're living that moment again, and you just wasted your time. You know what I mean? That book was great. I really did. What's another word for enjoy? My gosh, let's look that up, because I'm tired of saying I enjoyed this book. I appreciated this book. Lastly, I thought about picking up Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan because I had heard so many good things about that book. And I read a couple chapters and I decided I didn't want to read a romance book. Let's pick something else up. But I decided to pick up One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This is also my book club pick for the month. So I mean, book club pick, easy to read it. And also, it wasn't just a romance book. This is a fantasy book, which I'm having a little bit of a hard time. I think it was because I was watching the timer go down and I just didn't feel like reading. But I also am enjoying. What's another synonym? What's another synonym for enjoying? I am admiring this book at the moment. It's just so interesting. I don't know. Fantasy books always take a moment to jump into. They always take a little bit of brain power to get into, but I believe her name is Elizabeth. It's spelt, I'm gonna say Elizabeth, but it might be wrong. There's a monster trapped inside of her head that she calls Nightmare. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. I'm only like 30 or so, 40 pages into this book, so I really haven't gotten too deep into the fantasy world. You've met the main character, you've met Nightmare, and he hasn't shown too much of an appearance in the book, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to like the book, but so far, I do. So far, I am liking it. I just couldn't really tell you too much about it because I'm not far enough to really know much about it. So that was how I ended this. Am I out of a book slump? I think I'm not completely out of it, if I'm being honest. I think I'm getting there though, because I did want to pick up books more, but I'm also still slightly distracted by things. It's okay. We're getting out of it, and I'm excited because I do want to pick up my books, and I am excited for this book. That's all for my 24-hour readathon. I'm sorry about losing some footage. I know, but I feel like it happens every video, and I just need to get better at looking at my cards before they're formatted. Other than that, I hopefully will see you next time. Bye! Thanks for watching.